So we've all kind of encountered this incredible story of your terrible car accident as you were beginning to work on Phoenix as a project. And first of all, as a human, let me just say I am so glad that you have come back well and healthy from that. And I'm sure I'm joined by everyone else in the world to be glad for that. Selfishly, of course, we're also lucky that we keep getting to hear your incredible music. But I was thinking about the double meaning of the phoenix, right? We think about the rising again, but there's also this idea that you're rising from the ashes. And I'm a little bit interested to hear, as you tell us about this project, if there's anything from your creative past, your spiritual past, whatever it may be, that you would say was left behind in ashes, whether it was from the accident or not, or just the passage
Yeah.
of time, and what's stayed with you.
Well, I mean, each project that I've had, or just the kind of life I'm living, there has been a lot of adversity. Like you said, the first album came out 2012. So even with the success we have now at Phoenix and the thing, we're totally blowing up the charts, everything. That's a good decade of putting in the work and struggling to get record labels to hear me. All of these projects I financed myself. I put the money together. I found guests. I convinced everyone. I've had even the last year or two, 15 members of my family have passed.
Oh my.
Idea of I guess a phoenix, when you think of it, just once it's bloomed and gone and there, it's this beautiful, mystical, healing, powerful, spiritual bird that is here to just help and enhance things. And as time goes, it keeps getting better and better. So when I thought of just the need for it to, at a certain point, when it reaches peak, to keep bursting into ashes and re-blossoming, I thought imagine the pandemic is going on, music has shut down. I released this album where I spent all of my savings on everything, and the whole world says, take a break. And then we start pouring and everything again. I'm losing family members day by day by day. I'm living in New York where there's refrigerated bodies of people everywhere. Ambulance.
And you had Wallace Roney on a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him to the pandemic.
Everything is going on. Sirens are going on. New York decides to have riots. Everything is just happening in a chaos. And then we finally get into the summer where things start picking up a little bit. We start doing gigs. And on my 5th gig back, I wake up covered in blood in the middle of the woods with some guy dragging me to try to get me back on the main road. And no idea that that's even happened. I just know that I'm bloody being dragged through the woods. So I went from hearing one of my favorite Kenny Garrett songs to that. And I kept blacking out in the process and just waking up, not sure, was I going to make it? I remember asking the guy, am I going to make it? He told the ambulance driver to drive faster. That was his answer to me. So and then when I finally get back, my scapula is broke, my ribs are broke, my jaw is broke. I'm missing a lot of mental, I guess, awareness. And to go from, okay, I think I'm back, to I think I could have died, to I'm not sure if I'll be able to play again because my jaw is now out of whack, to now I'm going to record Phoenix. So I think I just wanted the listener, even the way it starts off, to see my process, I guess the world's process, and just when you get to the end of it, to just know that no matter what phase you're in life, what time, what's going on, there's a chance, there's a hope, there's dreams. It's possible. If you're a young person, you don't have to go by what other people say is possible. There are people that told me I couldn't get Wayne Shorter, couldn't get Angela Davis. No way she's going to get Terry to produce that. She's so busy. And they're all right here. And we're all going to the Grammys. So I just want people to know, stay true and give people a message of I'm doing the best I can, but that resiliency, we all have it as humans to keep going.
So let me share a little bit of the opening track.
This is not the way things are supposed to be. This might be the way they are now, but they are not supposed to be this way. I truly believe, and men should applaud this, that this is the era of women.
So as I listened to that the first time, I thought, okay, sirens, and then we hear, this spoken word about revolution and things. But then I thought, as I got to know about you, and I thought, wait a second, maybe those sirens really have a double meaning. And then as I was listening to it, it's such a cool, burning, but not just in a trivial way. It's this intense piece. And I started noticing I was hearing like a little whiff of Ornette Coleman's Lonely Woman. And I thought, well, I bet she was pretty lonely lying on that highway, when she was awake. So I didn't know if you were aware of channeling any Ornette or anything like that. Or...
You should really get like the MacArthur Genius Grant. Like you should just sign up for it right now. When I that song American Skin, I wanted to make my own version of Lonely Woman.
Oh wow. Well,
I'm a big Ornette fan of him and Don Cherry and that song, just the kind of the tone it sets with the drone and everything, but it sounds like more is happening. That's 100% what I had in mind for American Skin.
It's great. And it's not like okay, she's stealing from, it wasn't anything like that. It was just like, holy mackerel, she's in that Ornette space. And actually I hear it again later on in Basquiat. Is that a reference to Jean-Michel, the painter?
Absolutely. That's actually a whole suite, and that's just one part of it. But that is.
But I hear kind of that heterophony that Miles and Wayne had on Nefertiti. I mean, there are all these beautiful like wisps of I don't know what you want to call it, influence or reflection or celebration.
Award, sir. You're the only person that has told me that, and
really?
That is. It came along. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
great.
Verbatim.
Let me share a little bit of that. So I'd like to share a little bit of one more track, Lakecia, and it's a beautiful tune from Phoenix called Rebirth. Anything you want us to know about that before we listen?
That actually is the song, even though Phoenix is the title track of the album that exemplifies, I guess, the pain and the healing and the aspects I'm going. Rebirth is the only track on the album that, before I came up with Phoenix, I was going to call the album Rebirth. Because I thought that track and that song and that everything signified the message I was trying to give out, the idea of being reborn. But then Phoenix hit me and I was like, oh, that's so much cooler.
Well, it worked beautifully together, you.